Marcus Aurelius. That's called Stoic scatting. We're going to continue with Stoic philosophy, Seneca, moral letters, the letters on ethics. We have arrived at letter 60. Letter 60. I don't know why all of a sudden I had somewhat scouse nature there, but it's alright. Should do the whole video like that. With letter 60. I don't like the first part of the letter because it's kind of weird, but it gets very interesting near the end. Seems to flip entirely, and then we get this. Indeed, there are some we should count not even as animate creatures, but as corpses. A person is alive when he is of use to many. He is alive when he is of use to himself. Slackers! I want to look up the Latin. I really wonder what that said. Slackers who hide out at home might as well be in the tomb. Go ahead and write it in marble above their door. Preceded in death by themselves. Farewell. What a fascinating bit of letter there. I have a lot to say about that. I found it absolutely fascinating. One thing I remember from a very dear professor I had who taught me introduction, what do you call that, introduction to psychology, sadly passed away in my first summer break at the university. He was a great, brilliant instructor, many years of experience, who truly cared for his students. One of the things he said at some point that I've remembered always is, worrying is useless. You wake up at night, you're worrying, it's useless. Either you stop worrying or you get out of bed and you do something about it. But worrying is useless. I had to think about that. Seneca has this weird thing about, I found it weird in the context of the rest of the letter, because he's initially talking about that we want too much and that we're asking for too much. It's odd. But what I like is his statement of, make yourself of use to others, right? That's what he says. A person is alive when he is of use to many. He is alive when he is of use to himself. Be useful. Praeses ut proces, I want to say, in Latin, which is something like lead to serve. Some of the best leaders I've had the pleasure of serving under understood that concept very well. You lead to serve. You do what you do as a leader to help serve others. I'm not really one for religion, but one of my favorite Greek Orthodox hymns, because I do like Byzantine hymns. It's everybody needs a hobby in addition to fountain pens. Mystagogon Sokyrie has a wonderful line in it. Is it Mista? Anyway, it's one of the Holy Week hymns. And I believe it is Jesus himself speaking, and he says, I came, I've translated from Greek, I came not to be served, but to serve. And I found that I've always loved that line, and it comes in again the same way for me as lead to serve. When you make yourself useful to many, then you are truly alive. I also think people tend to remember you when you help them. Now, that is not the same as bending over backwards and working yourself into an early grave because you feel you should serve everyone. But understanding the balance between leading and serving by what you can do as a leader, or for that matter as a normal, regular, non-leadership person, by helping others, is vital. I think it's vital. It's vital in I think, many schools of Hellenistic philosophy, Stoicism certainly, the idea of help others Marcus Aurelius, emperor. There wasn't anyone higher than him. He was the emperor. Continuously writes about these things. Help others. Serve them. Educate them. Make them see how things work. You do that. You help. It's your duty. He's very clear to himself. Remember, he wrote that book to himself. It's his not even memoirs. It's like a diary, right? He keeps telling himself, help others, serve them, lead them, educate them, and put up with them. Crucial. So I thought it was interesting. I find it very interesting in the context of the current day and age, because when you think about it, so I'm just fascinated. There's a parking lot right there. Someone just came walking up. There's sort of a raised little sidewalk thing with big rocks, and he stepped on the wrong one and hurt his knee, and he was limping in front of what seemed to be his girlfriend, but he seems okay. Yeah, he's okay now. Okay, sorry. It's me entertainment, isn't it? Modern day politicians, he continued seamlessly, forget about this all the time. Lead to serve. Think of a politician and then think about whether they lead to serve or whether they serve their own interests. Do they actually serve the people's interests or is it their own interests? Seneca here says, if you are useful to many people, you're truly alive. And I love that way of looking at it. Truly living is not about acquiring a lot of money or expensive property or, in our day and age, big cars or that kind of fame, all that stuff. It's about being useful. Are you useful to other people? If you are useful to other people, well, then you are truly alive. And he is alive when he is of use to himself. And that's a really good question. Are you of use to yourself? Or are you not? Because everybody goes through stages in life where they're not really useful to themselves. They're not. We're not. It's what we do. We erect our own blockades, right? We do this. We do this a lot. I would love to do this, but I can't because there's this and this and that, and I probably shouldn't even try. Self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's very sad, but we do that. We do this a lot. So, are you of use to yourself? I think this is one of the most important lessons of philosophy, I think in general, but of Stoicism too. Continuously ask yourself, is my action rational? And what is meant by that is what I'm doing now or what I'm thinking now, are my thoughts rational? Are my thoughts or actions things that help me get closer to what I wish to achieve? And if the answer is no, which more than once for us it's not, then why am I doing this? If this is not helping me get closer to my goals, why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this? And with practice, we can get ourselves out of these kinds of trains of thoughts. Everything sucks, this and the other. I am not talking about clinical depression, because that typically requires a bit more than just change your thoughts a bit. Obviously, it's clinical. But even then, if you go into therapy, a lot of what you learn there is this kind of stuff, right? Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? Why am I doing this? Is this rational? Is this a rational fear to have? Is this a rational cause to something to feel bad about? Right? I think it's very important to stop and think about these things all the time. Because by asking yourself those questions and answering those questions, you get an answer to a bigger question, which is, am I of use to myself? Right now, am I doing things that are of use to me? Do they help me get closer to where I want to be. If they are, my thoughts, my actions, my choices, if they are, well then that's great. I should continue doing that thing, thinking those things. But if not, then I should not. I should maybe change what I'm thinking. Try, not always easy, try to change what I'm thinking. Maybe change what I'm doing. Right? Important thoughts. Are you of use to others? Are you of use to yourself? Food for thought. I hope this was useful, and let me know what you think of this particular very short bit of letter, and I'd gladly see you later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!